How's it going, guys, in the world? There are several types of poisons and toxic substances. And do you know which one is the most dangerous? They can be of animal, mineral, or vegetable origin, or even created in laboratories. Some substances have even been used as biological weapons, others for aesthetic procedures. And there are those that, despite being dangerous, are used every day. So that's what we're going to show you today, the deadliest substances on Earth. Put on your gas mask and hit the like button. It helps us know if you're enjoying the video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already and leave your suggestions for the next videos in the comments below. Well, the first thing you need to know is that a poisonous substance has various levels of toxicity, from mild irritation or something of the sort, to the most acute that can simply end a person's life. And to measure the level and danger of this toxicity, a scale called LD50, which stands for median lethal dose, which is the amount of substance needed to take the life of half of a certain population. In other words, 50% of individuals within 14 days. And now let's see what the strongest toxins on Earth are. So, starting with botulinum toxin, which originated from the bacterium Clostridium botulinum. This toxin can contaminate an individual through inhalation, or also through the ingestion of contaminated food or water, and only 0.4 nanograms per kilo of this botulinum substance generates a lethal dose for humans. And most experts consider botulinum toxin as the most toxic natural chemical in the world, because a very small amount can end a human life. That means, to take the life of a person weighing about 50 kilograms, only 20 nanograms of this toxin would be needed, which is much less than 1 gram. This makes this toxin 10,000 times more potent than snake venom. This toxin can be found in spoiled foods, such as old canned goods, and depending on the amount, it can cause neurological problems, paralysis in respiratory muscles, and consequently death. However, even though it's dangerous, being considered the most lethal toxin of all, look how crazy humans are. Because during aesthetic procedures, we end up using small doses of this toxin on our face, on our body. In this case, we're talking about the famous Botox. But Botox is a very diluted and specific form of this toxin. And instead of paralyzing, it relaxes the muscles, reducing wrinkles and expression lines around the eyes and forehead. Not to mention that in this diluted form, it can also be used to treat muscle problems, chronic headaches, and even some ocular dysfunctions. But of course, using it responsibly, with control, and the highest possible study. Let's talk now about ricin, which is derived from the Ricinus communis plant, considered one of the deadliest poisons of plant origin. Ricin is a protein present in the castor bean seed. For those who don't know, the castor bean plant grows abundantly around the world, and its fruits generally have spines. The real problem, folks, occurs if you ingest the castor bean seed, because even though it's small, just 8 castor bean seeds can take the life of an adult weighing 70 kilograms, and only 1 castor bean seed is enough to end the life of a child. In fact, in Breaking Bad, Walter White makes a poison using a ricin seed. Poisoning causes stomach pain, diarrhea, vomiting with blood, and death. And this toxin is so dangerous that it's even used as a biological weapon because it's extremely lethal, easy to extract, and also has a low cost. Not to mention that it's chemically stable, so it can be stored anywhere without refrigeration for a long time. Ricin poisoning is extremely rare, because who's going to eat one of these whole, right? Problem arises when someone maliciously creates a concoction using ricin, understand? And this really happened because ricin was deliberately used to poison other people. Sarin is a substance that was created in a laboratory back in 1937 in Germany. Initially developed as a pesticide due to its action on the nervous system, it began to be used as a weapon, thus becoming the most powerful chemical weapon in the world. It is obtained in liquid form in the laboratory, but it can easily vaporize since the gas is colorless, odorless, and tasteless. Its potential as a weapon is even greater. So, if a person comes into contact with this gas, it can cause a decrease in heart rate, nausea, blindness, paralysis, loss of consciousness, and convulsions. What more could you ask for? It also weakens the muscles, causing respiratory and cardiac arrest. If a person is intoxicated with sarin, they can die in just 10 minutes. Fortunately, there is an antidote for this made with two medications, pralidoxime and atropine, which can be administered directly into the vein at the hospital. So, if there is any exposure to sarin gas, go directly to the hospital because there is a way to cure it. This gas was used in an attack in Japan on March 20, 1995, where a sarin gas attack occurred in the Tokyo subway. It all happened in the morning around 7:45 to 8:45 a.m. 5 men came out with umbrellas with metal tips and sarin packed in newspapers in their backpacks. They were equipped there to spread gas to everyone. Each man also had a syringe with atropine, the gas antidote. They wanted to contaminate the crowd but obviously didn't want to get contaminated themselves, so they had the antidote for anything that happened. Each lunatic was stationed at a subway line, and the 5 lines converged near the Japanese government headquarters, which was the final target of the whole operation. They released the poison and took the lives of 12 people, and a total of 5,000 people fell ill. The perpetrators were captured. One of them was sentenced to life imprisonment, and the others received the death penalty. The use of sarin as a chemical weapon has occurred in various other places around the world. Another product that can be quite dangerous is the famous lead. And unlike others, lead can make a person sick for many years of their life. Unlike others, lead is a silent killer because it may not be lethal now, but it gradually deteriorates your body. It has been identified as a poisonous substance since ancient cultures, but it is still present among us in daily life, being part of our everyday lives. It was used for decades in gasoline and water pipes, thus contaminating our soil and water infrastructure, and is still found in paints, electronics, jewelry, ammunition, toys, and nail polish. It is even used as traditional medicine in some places like India, Mexico, and Vietnam. Any contact with lead can be dangerous regardless of the dose. For example, children poisoned with lead can have developmental and behavioral problems as well as various other health problems. Lead can affect the developing brain, resulting in reduced intellectual capacity, and as we age, lead can affect our cardiovascular and neurological health and, in large doses, even cause cancer. Even today, lead remains a public health problem. In 2019, for example, there were 2 million lives lost due to exposure to chemicals, and almost half of those 2 million were due to lead exposure. People suffering from lead poisoning receive injections of a medication called Suximer. And folks, there are several other substances we haven't talked about. Leave your like here. Leave your comment. Who knows, maybe we'll come back with part 2. There are several other substances that can be quite dangerous and toxic to humans. Well, that was today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, write down below a topic for the next video, and we'll see you in the next video. That's all, folks. Thanks.